Quiet hands, heavy responsibility. His hands don't shake. They've learned the way of holding days together. They don't reach for praise, they reach for work. No matter the weather, bills on the table, dreams on delay, promises folded, he never throws away. He doesn't complain, he adjusts. Quiet hand, heavy responsibility. He carries tomorrow so we can sleep peacefully. Quiet hands, heavy responsibility. He holds the world steady and calls it masculinity. He eats last, listens more than he speaks. He knows when silence is the strongest thing. He fixes what breaks and what can't be fixed. He absorbs the pressure and never lists it. That's how men disappear into duty. Quiet hand, heavy responsibility. No medals, no mercy, just consistency. Quiet hands, heavy responsibility. He bleeds in discipline and calls it stability. I thought strength was loud, I was young and blind. Now I see it's the man who survives his own mind. He never said I'm tired, but his eyes did. He never said thank you, but he stayed anyway. That's love in uniform. Quiet hand, heavy responsibility. He traded his youth for our security. Quiet hand, If that's not love, tell me what love should be. Still waking, still carrying, still calm, still choosing, still holding, still strong. Responsibility, quiet hands, heavy responsibility, quiet hands, heavy responsibility. Some men save the world without making a sound.
I used to think my father was quiet. Because he had nothing to say. I was wrong. He woke before the morning, learned my name. Coffee black, shoulders tight. The house was warm because he was cold. Every single night. He never talked about the weight he carried, never asked to be understood. I thought silence meant distance. I was young, I misunderstood. He didn't explain, he didn't complain, he stayed. A father's silence is not empty. It's heavy with unseen scars. It's every word he swallowed whole, so we could reach the stars. A father's silence is not empty. It's love that doesn't shout. Some men protect with open arms, some do it without a sound. I watched him pay the world in patience, bills spread out like quiet threats. He folded fear into discipline and called it being a man. He fixed what broke without an audience, stood still when money ran thin. I thought strength looked like confidence. I didn't see it tucked within. No applause, no retreat, just presence. A father's silence is not empty. It's pressure turned to ground. It's choosing to stay solid when everything shakes around. A father's silence is not empty. It's the weight he chose to keep, so the rest of us could dream at night while he stayed awake and weak. tired eyes and quiet breath, I started carrying my own storms and bargaining with death. One night I sat alone in silence, and suddenly I knew the room felt just like his did. That's when the truth came through. Oh, oh. A father's silence is not empty. It's preparation, not escape. It's love that trains you quietly for weight you'll one day take. A father's silence is not empty. It's a lesson dressed as calm. He wasn't distant. He was strong for far too long. He didn't teach me with speeches. He taught me with time, by standing in the same place every single line. I didn't inherit his words, I inherited his spine. Still here, still standing, still providing, still here. A father's silence is not empty. A father's silence is not empty. A father's silence is not empty. It was full of love. I just learned to hear it late.
I won't leave go. I'll leave gravity. I left my boots by the door, so they'd know I came back. Left the lights on low, so fear wouldn't crack. I fixed the hinge that never closed, didn't mention a word. Some things are meant to work without being heard. You won't see it, but you'll feel it. What I left in the house wasn't money or fame. It was a quiet arrangement of holding the frame. What I left in the house wasn't written down. It was a weight of protection, keeping walls on the ground. I left patience in the mornings when things went wrong.
left calm in the evenings when days were too long. I left my voice low when anger knocked, left the door open but the values locked. That's how it stays. What I left in the house was the habit of care, of checking twice, even when no one's there. What I left in the house was a standard, not fear, the kind you grow into year by year. One day you'll sit in my chair without realizing why. It'll feel familiar, like a borrowed spine. You'll protect without naming it, you'll stay without applause, and you won't know where it came from, but it was always yours. That's inheritance. What I left in the house was permission to stand when the world leans heavy on your hand. What I left in the house wasn't perfection or proof. It was the courage to remain when leaving felt smooth. Still stay, still kind, still here in time. What I left in the house what I left in the house what I left in the house. If you feel safe here, then I did my job.
There's smoke in the kitchen at midnight, not from fire, from thinking too long. The sink is full of quiet dishes. Clock talks back to me. Everyone's asleep upstairs, depending silently. Coffee cold, cigarette burning, bills folded by the phone. I stand in a room I built myself, still feeling alone. Midnight knows my name. Midnight never lies. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, light hanging low and dim. I hold the house together while the walls close in. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, no witnesses around, just a man and his reflection in a world turned down. The table still smells like dinner, like laughter earlier today. They don't see what happens after, when the smiles fade away. I don't smoke to look dangerous, I smoke to slow my breath, to sit with all the questions that taste a little like death. No applause, no escape. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, shadows on the wall. Every choice I ever made answers when I call. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, ash falling like snow. I burn the hours quietly so tomorrow can grow. One night I realized the silence isn't trying to break me down. It's just the only hour where honesty is allowed. This room isn't full of pressure, it's full of proof I stayed. Smoke isn't from destruction, it's from the choices made. I stay, I stay. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight is the cost of being strong. It's the sound of holding steady when everything feels wrong. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, but the house is standing still. I don't need to feel heroic, I just need the will. Some men don't fight in the streets, they fight at tables with numbers, patience, and time. Still awake, still spurts of you, still here. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight, Smoke in the kitchen at midnight. Smoke in the kitchen at midnight. The sun will rise, and I'll be ready. My dad's like a robot, always moving, never stopping. He wakes up at the same time, same shirt, same face. Moves through the morning like a program pace. No extra words, no wasted breath. Coffee keys the door. He doesn't ask how he feels. He's already late for more. Day after day, day after day. My dad's like a robot, never shuts down. He carries the weight without making a sound. My dad's like a robot, steel in his spine. He keeps everything running on borrowed time. He doesn't say I'm tired. He doesn't say I'm scared. He just keeps fixing things like damage isn't there. His hands are always working, even when he sits still. Like rest is a feature he was never built to feel. No error code, my dad's like a robot, built to endure. He absorbs the pressure so the house feels secure. My dad's like a robot, no cracks allowed. He breaks in silence, never out loud. One night I saw him freeze at the edge of the sink, hand shaking slightly like a system trying to think. Then he wiped his face clean, reset his tone, went back to function like nothing was wrong. That's when I understood. My dad's like a robot, 'cause someone had to be the one who never crashes, so the rest stay free. My dad's like a robot, not because he can't feel, but because feeling everything would stop the wheel. Still running, still providing, still online. Still running, still protecting, still mine. Like a robot, but I see the man under all the wiring, doing the best he can. My dad's like a robot until the night goes quiet. Then I hear his heart trying to stay compliant. All about strong fear, but my father learned how to hide it.
I wake up and I do it again. Alarm rings like a warning. Another day begins. Same walls, same weight, same quiet wars within. No applause in the morning, no victory parade, just coffee, tired eyes, and promises I made. No reset, no escape, just forward. I wake up and I do it again. Carry the load, pretend I'm fine. I wake up and I do it again. Put the world back on my spine. I wake up and I do it again. No one claps, no one knows. This is how a man survives, by standing up slow.
Slow blues guitar, deep bass pulse, room memories, silence between notes, 90 seconds.
I eat my pride with breakfast, swallow doubt with time. I've learned how to function while leaving dreams behind. Some days feel pointless, some nights don't end, but quitting is louder than the life I defend. So I don't quit. I wake up and I do it again. Same road, same demand. I wake up and I do it again, because someone needs this man. I wake up and I do it again. Not brave, just trained. Discipline taught me pain doesn't need a name. I used to wait a sign for a change. Now I know meaning is built by surviving the same. Nobody saw me become this. Nobody taught me how. But consistency forged me into who I am now. That's the truth. I wake up and I do it again. Not because I'm strong, but because stopping would prove me wrong. I wake up and I do it again. This is how faith behaves. It doesn't scream miracles, it just stays. Still breathing, still standing, still here. Still tired, still moving, still clear. I wake up and I do it again. I wake up and I do it again. I wake up and I do it again. That's how legacies are known. One morning at a time.
I saw my father at 3 a.m. He thought the house was asleep. The TV glowed without a sound, blue light on his face. Coffee cold, hands still working, trying to stay in place. He didn't hear the floorboard, he didn't turn around. Some men don't notice witnesses when they're holding the ground. 3 a.m., 3 a.m.
at 3 a.m., sitting with his fear. He wore the weight of tomorrow like it belonged right here. I saw my father at 3 a.m., alone but standing tall. Some men don't sleep, they just got it all. His shoulder spoke before his mouth, bent but not undone. The kind of tide you only earn when quitting isn't won. He rubbed his eyes like time was heavy, like minutes told him rest. But rest has rules for fathers, and sleep comes second best. He didn't cry, he breathed. I saw my father at 3 a.m., counting what he'd lose if tomorrow went wrong or someone else got bruised. I saw my father at 3 a.m., making silent deals with a world that never sees how responsibility feels. Years later I see myself in the same dim light, same chair, same quiet wall, same hour of night. That night didn't scare me, it taught me who I'd be. Not loud, not flawless, just steady. That's how it passes on. I saw my father at 3 a.m., and I understand now. Strength is choosing to stay awake when the house is safe somehow. I saw my father at 3 a.m., not broken, not alone. He was building the man I'd grow into on my own. Still awake, still choosing, still here. I saw my father at 3 a.m.,
he never knew I was watching. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, it just listens. I come home when the house is quiet, shoes by the door, lights down low. Everyone's dreaming of better days, I stay awake to make them grow. I don't talk about the pressure, I don't wear it on my face. I pour myself a little silence and let the night know my place. No judgment, no advice, just time moving slow. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, doesn't need to know my name. It don't tell me what I should have been or how to handle pain. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, it don't ask me to explain. It lets a tired man breathe again before tomorrow calls his name. I chose the road that doesn't shine, the one that pays in years. I traded noise for steady ground and learned to carry fears. Love looks like showing up again when quitting feels polite. I hold the world together while they sleep through the night. No applause, no relief. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, doesn't point at what I lack. It don't ask why I stayed so long or what I never got back. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, it just burns and understands. It sits with me in quiet rooms like only old friends can. let me sit, just let me breathe, just let me stay here a little longer. Whiskey doesn't ask questions, doesn't ask how long I'll last.
close my slow breath. The chair doesn't move, but I do. Same chair, same corner, light hanging low. Everyone's asleep, that's when the silence grows. The house finally exhales, the clock starts to talk. This is where the day ends and the thinking walks. Every night I'm undone. The chair I sit in every night knows the shape of my back. It holds the weight I never unpack. The chair I sit in every night doesn't ask a thing. It listens while I carry tomorrow in my skin. I don't scroll, I don't speak, I just let the noise settle. Some men rest by leaving, I rest by staying level. The floor creaks like it remembers every step I take, like the house and I made a deal to not break. Still here, the chair I sit in every night knows my quiet wars, the plans I never say out loud, the debts, the doors. The chair I sit in every night holds more than my frame. It holds the man I became. One day someone will sit here without knowing why. It'll feel familiar, like a borrowed spine. They won't hear my thinking or see my doubt, but the calm will stay after I'm out. That's how it stays. The chair I sit in every night is not a place to hide. It's where I decide how I'll show up outside. The chair I sit in every night is where the noise gets done, so the house can wait to a quieter sun. Still sitting, still choosing, still here. Still sitting, still holding, still clear. The chair I sit in every night, the chair I sit in every night the chair I sit in every night. If the house feels steady, it's because I stay.
While you cried, I woke up for some water. The hallway light was on. You were sitting at the table like something had gone wrong. You said it was nothing, smiled real quick, but tears don't lie, even when grown men do. I didn't know, I didn't know that while you're crying, did I do something wrong? You held the world together for so long, that while you're crying, you always seem so strong. I didn't know heroes could feel like this all along. You say grown men don't break, they just get quiet instead. They carry storms in their chest so kids can sleep in their beds. Your hands shake for a second, then you wipe your face dry, like sadness is a rule you were taught to deny. You said you're fine, that why are you crying? I thought tears meant defeat. You never stopped showing up, even when you couldn't sleep. That why are you crying? The house is still safe tonight. Maybe strong means holding pain out of sight. Years later I understand what I saw that night. You weren't breaking down, you were holding the line. You cried because you loved us, because leaving was easy. Staying took everything. chose to be. You stay. You stay. You stay. Dad, why are you crying? Dad, why are you crying? Dad, why are you crying? Thank you for not letting us see. Everything you carry. Dad, you were never loud, but you were always lead. You never flew through fire, never stood on a stage. But you came home tired, day after day. Your hands told the story, your eyes stayed calm. You carried storms in silence, like that was normal. I didn't see it then. I see it now. Dad, you are my hero. Even when you didn't know, you made the world feel steady so I could grow. Dad, you are my hero, not in words you said, but in how you stood between me and what I feel. You never asked for things, you never asked for grace. You just showed up again and held your place. You taught me how to listen, how to wait, how to choose what matters over what feels great.
straight. Dad, you are my hero because you stayed real. You taught me discipline before you taught me how to feel. Dad, you are my hero, not perfect, just true. You showed me what a man is by what you do. When I slow my tone, I see your shadow in my steps. When I walk alone, I didn't become you overnight. It happened piece by piece, in patience, in restraint, in choosing peace. That's how it passes on. Dad, you are my hero, not because you won, but because you never left when leaving would have been done. Dad, you are my hero, and now I understand. You built a future quietly with your hands. You stayed, you stood, you gave, you stayed, you stood, you gave, stayed, you stayed, you gave, you stayed. Dad, you are my hero. Dad, you are my hero. If I ever become half the man you were, that will be enough.
I used to think my father was quiet because he had nothing to say. I was wrong. He woke before the morning, learned my name. Coffee black, shoulders tight. The house was warm because he was cold every single night. He never talked about the weight he carried, never
watched him pay the world in patience, bills spread out like quiet threats. He folded fear into discipline and called that being a man. He fixed what broke without an audience, stood still when money ran thin. I thought strength looked like confidence, I didn't see it tucked within. No applause, no retreat, just presence. A father's silence is not empty, it's pressure turned to ground. It's choosing to stay solid when everything shakes around. A father's silence is not empty, it's the weight he chose to keep, so the rest of us could dream at night while he stayed awake and weak. I grew older and learned the language of tired eyes and quiet breath. I started carrying my own storms and bargaining with death. One night I sat alone in silence, and suddenly I knew the room felt just like his did. That's when the truth came through. Father's silence is not empty, it's preparation, not escape. It's love that trains you quietly for weight you'll one day take. A father's silence is not empty, it's a lesson dressed as calm. He wasn't distant, he was strong for far too long. He didn't teach me with speeches, he taught me with time, by standing in the same place every single line. I didn't inherit his words, I inherited his spine. Still here, still standing, still providing, still here. A father's silence is not empty, a father's silence is not empty. A father's silence is not empty. A father's silence is not empty. It was full of love, I just learned to hear it late.
After everyone fell asleep, I stayed awake to make sure the world didn't fall apart. The hallway light is still on, like it knows I'll pass again. Doors closed, dreams protected by a tired man. Shoes by the wall, keys on the table, phone face down, no sound. This is where the noise ends and the weight comes down. After everyone fell asleep, I finally heard my sleep. After everyone fell asleep, I sat with what I had. I carry tomorrow quietly, so they can rest tonight. And after everyone fell asleep, no masks, no roles to keep, just a man holding silent. After everyone fell asleep. I don't say how scared I get when the numbers don't align. I don't say how tired I am, pretending I'm fine. They think strength is loud or breaking through walls, but mine lives in waiting and answering calls. I don't complain, I don't run. After everyone fell asleep, I bleed in discipline. I count the cost of loving and can't again. After everyone fell asleep, I made my private peace. I fix what no one notices. After everyone fell asleep. One night I stopped calling it loneliness and called it proof instead that I stayed when leaving would have been easier said. This silence isn't empty, it's earned its deed.
It's the sound of a promise I chose to keep. This is not a weakness, this is devotion. After everyone fell asleep, I stand guard in the dark. I hold the quiet together, like a work of art. After everyone fell asleep, I don't need to be seen. If tomorrow we wake safe, then to man ain't something. Still here, still standing, still choosing. Still here, still breathing, still providing. After everyone fell asleep, after everyone fell asleep, morning will come and I'll wear the smile again.
Close mic. Slow breath. He never had to shout. The room already knew. Some men demand respect, he earned it by what he'd do. His presence settled chaos, like night settles a flame. He didn't win with anger, he won by staying the same. No volume, no threat, just one. Slow blues guitar, low piano, warm bass pulse, heavy room tone, 90 seconds. He listened longer than he spoke, watched the fire cool itself. Some men fight to be seen, he protected everyone else. He never chased control, he mastered restraint. thought strength was loud when I was young and afraid. Now I know it's the man who absorbs the weight. He never told us I'm strong, but he never collapsed. Some lessons are learned by watching a man last. That's the truth. Strength that never raised its voice chose patience over choice. If silence had a spine, it would stand like him. Strength that never raised its voice, never asked to be crowned. It carried the crown without touching it. Still calm, still firm, still here. Still steady, still solid, still clear. Strength that never raised its voice. Strength that never raised its voice. Strength that never raised its voice. Some power doesn't echo, it remains.
I rarely saw his face. What I remember is his bag. That back faced the morning while I was still asleep. Footsteps careful, door not breathing, like he didn't want to wake the deep. Same shirt, shoulders low, like the world sat there. He left without a promise, but always came back anyway. He never turned around, he never complained. A father's bed, never asked to be liked. It carries a light through silence and fire. A father's bed bends but doesn't break. He stands in front of storms, so I don't shake. I never heard him say he was tired, but tired lived in the way he said, in the pause before he answered, in the wait he never unpacked. He fixed the smallest broken thing without asking for praise, like damage was his duty and repair was his fate. He carried it, he carried it. A father's back is where the pressure stays. fear and doubt find a home between bone and days. A father's band never asked to be seen. It only wants the house to remain. One day I stood in the mirror, saw that shape again. My shoulders leaning forward like someone I'd known back then. I didn't learn it from words or lessons he gave. I learned it from watching what he chose to break. That's how it passes on. A father's band is not distance or cold. It's love facing forward, so fear stays behind the door. A father's band is a shield, not a wall. He turns away from comfort so I can stand tall. Still standing, still holding, still here. Still standing, still caring, still near. A father's band, a father's band, a father's band. Never saw his face. It's because he was facing everything else.
Discipline tastes like loneliness at first. While the city drinks and laughs out loud, I count hours, not friends. I turn down noise, I turn down comfort, so tomorrow can begin. They say I'm hard on myself. They say I live too tight. They don't taste the mornings I'm building every night. No crowd, no cheer, just time. Discipline tastes like love. We go cold on the tongue, hard to swallow, but it feeds the future. I refuse to borrow. Discipline tastes like love. We go when messages. Wake up before the sun. The silence feels like punishment until the work is done. I skip the easy comfort, I skip the crowded room. I sit alone with discipline and let it shake my bones. No shortcut, no excuse. Discipline tastes like a roll you built. White rooms without a sound, but it teaches me to stand in blurs when no one's around. Discipline tastes like a overnight. No sweetness in the bite, but it keeps my hands from shaking when pressure comes at night. One day they'll ask how I did it, how I stayed this calm. They'll call it luck or timing. They won't taste what I've swallowed long. They'll see the strength but not the meals I missed. They'll never know what discipline tastes like. Still alone, still choosing. Discipline tastes like loneliness. But loneliness doesn't last. It turns to structure, turns to ground when pleasure couldn't last. Discipline tastes like loneliness until the work is done. Then it tastes like quiet mornings and freedom no one's won. Loneliness is temporary, regret is not. I chose the flavor that builds a spark. Still here, still focused, still becoming. Discipline tastes like loneliness. Discipline tastes like loneliness. But it feeds me well. But it feeds me well.
I didn't choose to replace him. I just stayed when the space appeared. His chair stayed empty, but the house didn't wait. Built still not. Time stay late. I learned to answer questions I was never trained to know. I grew into silence before I grew into my bones. Someone had to stand. Someone had to stay. I became my father's slave, not his name, not his face. I feel the quiet where he used to stay. I became my father's place, too young, but still I stood. I didn't become a man, I became what the house needed first. No one said thank you. They just slept better at night. Responsibility doesn't ask if your age is right. I learned how to say later instead of what about me. I traded